Good morning and welcome to My Left Ear. I am Carrie Freeman. It's Monday, August 8th, 2023, and this is video 168. My Left Ear is a left-leaning YouTube channel, so MAGAs or Republicans will not like the channel. It's just a little warning. I am the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. I also have a Patreon channel. And so I'm going over recent events, and I have some runes for you. I do the runes readings. And when I am not here, I do private sessions for people. I do psychic coaching and clinical hypnotherapy, where I help with real life problems. So you can contact me. Information is below. If you'd like me to send you like a cheat sheet, a one sheet about my services and the costs. So this is for entertainment purposes only. We always say that. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Please like. You know this. Everybody asks you for this, and it helps. All right. Entertainment purposes only. Here we go. Now, I hope there's not a knock on the door because I have workmen coming. And I hope they don't come on time. They usually don't. So we're gonna play this by ear, keep our fingers crossed. My first runes question, because of the events of the last couple of days of Trump evidently breaking the terms of his jail bail. So I just asked the runes this morning, will Trump see a jail cell before his first trial? And My Left Ear came in and said, likely. And by the way, if you're new, I get, aside from the runes, I also get direction and information from My Left Ear, sometimes right in the moment. So I share that. All right, so we got everything in reverse with this question, okay? All three runes were in reverse. So the first rune was separation. And remember, the question is, will he see a jail cell before his first trial? That's the question. And it says, this is not a time to be bound by old conditioning, old authority. Consider what will benefit others and act accordingly. Now, I kept that in because it's just funny. We know that Donald Trump never considers others and acts accordingly. But I put that in as the advice. He may be called upon to undertake a radical departure from old ways. I want to say, hell yes. And it says you here, but I'm going to say his refusal to be honest will cause pain and damage to himself and to others. So that's the first rune about will he see a jail cell. Then I got movement in reverse, all right? Movement, this is about movement that appears to be blocked. He's blocked. He's getting blocked in. Be certain that what you are doing, Donald, is timely, which it's not. It's telling him not all possibilities are open to you, fella, and not all opportunities are appropriate, Don. And it says, your opportunity may be to avoid action. So, you know, for you and I, it's like maybe you need to avoid breaking the terms of your bail and your arrest. And then lastly, which was very telling, I got the rune of joy reversed. Okay, that's so literal, my friends. And it says, things are slow coming to fruition. A crisis and a difficult passage are at hand. The advice is consideration and deliberation are called for. He's not capable of that. You know, this past week, people are saying now, is he acting out and breaking rules since his arraignment on purpose? Is he trying to get thrown in jail so he can become more of a martyr and use it? And you know, that's a possibility. I didn't ask the runes because in a way, it doesn't matter. He's probably going to see the inside of a jail cell. I don't think this week. I think this week he's going to get a big warning from this fabulous judge, who I'm going to talk about shortly. But yes, I do see this happening, because he has no, what they say in the psychological community, no ability to self-regulate. And usually kids that are brought up normally, they get a timeout. They learn how to self-regulate. And he has none of that. He has no impulse control. I'm sure he has untreated ADHD from the time he's a child, among other disorders. So we just wait, and we see, what he does this week or next week, but he's going to do it, because and it is maybe something he wants. Like I said, I didn't ask the question. I question whether he's that methodical. And I really think the inside of a jail cell is very scary for him. So I'm not so sure. I think he might be just running his mouth. Now, you may have seen this or heard about this post that Trump put up: "If you come for me, I'll come for you." Now that I may be off one word, but that's basically what he posted. And found out that this line was originally used by Al Capone, the famous gangster who did end up in jail. So now, the DOJ, which is Jack, has already made a court filing. That was, I think, Saturday or Friday, I'm not sure, citing a protective order against 45. Now, this isn't the same as a gag order. A protective order is the first step, where he's not supposed to discuss the unsealed evidentiary information. That's when that gets unsealed right now, he can just start talking about it and ruin the trial, witnesses, manipulate, all these things that he normally does. So they're trying to get a grip. Jack Smith is trying to get a grip on managing this protective order. And then Trump's team, they're supposed to show up today at 5 o'clock in DC and make state their plea for not inducting this protective order. They will fail. They wanted a extension, of course, because Trump's people always want an extension. And this new tough judge was like, no, I'll see you at 5 on Monday. So then if Trump keeps making threatening and informational posts like this, the DOJ will be able to file for a gag order. And then after that, the revocation of bail. And then I wrote jail. Feel this coming? It's going to be in steps. Because I tell you what, my impression is that if it's not in steps, everything is up for appeal. And so it's a little less political and more, let's just think in advance of what he could appeal. And let's see if we can't kind of dance around that, like a preemptive strike, blah, blah, blah. So there is this new Trump attorney. His first name is Lauro, L-A-U-R-O. And I was supposed to look up his last name and I forgot, so I don't have it in front of me right here. He's all over the place. He's on all the TV shows. Now, Lauro knows that the boss, and not Bruce Springsteen, is watching him, judging, making sure that Lauro is following all his directions, because it is so clear that Trump is directing his team not to do what a lawyer would do, but to do what he wants them to do. And so they're just flunkies, doing his bidding. So Lauro knows that the boss is watching, and he's spitting out these points that the boss, Trump, wants him to spit out. I call him a flunky with a law degree. But he brought in, this Lauro did an invitation, a conversation with Dana Bash from CNN, and he brought Joe Biden's name into the legal stuff that's going on with Trump, and she stopped him right there. So that's clearly, Trump wanted that. He wants Biden's name attached to his current legal situation, and Biden's having nothing to do with it. He doesn't have anything to do with it, but a lot of the people will believe. So this guy is just another fake loser attorney, and to me, he's just like the body man, you know, who buttons ties and shirts for Trump, who's also in trouble and going to go to jail. Walt Nada, or Nada, I think. They're not any different. They're just like kissing up. That's just what came to mind. Right? They're just kissing up to Trump. They're foot maidens. So I want to share something with you. You know, what struck me the other day is there are 4 powerful legal people that Trump is going to have to deal with so far. And it reminded me of, there's a song that was written in the 30s by Woody Guthrie. And it was based on, Woody had to move into sort of a tenement building in New York that was owned by Fred Trump. And it was from the 30s. And so the song is about racism, because Woody Guthrie noticed they wouldn't rent to any black people. He figured it out. So the song is about discrimination towards black people, and it's called Old Man Trump Ain't Got No Home Anymore. And if you want to Google it, you'll hear the song, Ain't Got No Home Anymore. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because of the family's history with discriminating against black people. Now, let us notice Alvin Bragg, Manhattan District Attorney, that's overseeing the fake checks to, I can't think of her name right this minute, but you know, the porn star. Alvin Bragg is a black man. Tish James, Attorney General of New York, has this enormous financial case against the Trump family. She's a black woman. FANI Willis, Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney, black woman. And the brand new Judge Chutkan, Chutkan, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan is black. And she's been assigned to the most recent case against former President Donald Trump. And she is the only federal judge in Washington, D.C. who has given, she's had many January 6 defendants come in front of her that were guilty. And she's the only judge who has sentenced longer than the guidelines, longer. So everybody that's worked with her, and that includes Glenn Kirshner, says that she's really excellent. She's really smart, and she's so good that you kind of don't really want to go up against her, but she's fair and she's honest, but tough, okay? So I asked the Runes, will Fulton County drop the 4th set of indictments this week? So that means in the next couple of days, if not today. So before I threw the Runes, my left ear said yes, all right? And that won't be just Trump. There's like a whole host of people like Giuliani. I think Lindsey Graham is going to be a part of this, but I didn't throw Runes on it. Eastman, the attorney, and more. Because when they interviewed that odd foreman, that young woman, she thought there were going to be maybe 12 people named. And she said some of which you will know and some of which will be new to you. So I blew up here. As you know, I have this problem. and I got some good advice and I have to act on it. Partnership, which is normally really positive. So a partnership in some form is at hand. And you are put on notice not to collapse yourself into this union. So it may be that she's almost like partnering with Jack Smith on some level, or the way she's partnering with all these elements. But she's put on notice not to collapse herself into these unions or that union. And it suggests, let the winds of heaven dance between you. This rune says that the divine is active in all matters. God enters into equal partnerships. I think that's her protection in a way. The rune signifies the gift of freedom. And I wrote our freedom from Trump and crime. Then, this is very interesting. I pulled the same rune twice because I have the beginning rune, the middle rune, and the third rune. But I got gateway reversed twice in a row. So that's pretty damn big. So it does admit, gateway, there is a quickening of development. And we're talking about the indictments this week. But even in times of accelerated growth, you will have reason to halt along the way. And the defense will cause some of these halts, so that's not a big surprise. It wants us, her, reconsider the old and integrate the new. So there might be new materials that we have not even heard before, and I bet there will be. I bet there is, okay? We just don't know everything. The nature of your passage depends on the quality of her attitude. She's got that same laser, I'm serious, this is going in one direction attitude. She's almost like a female version of Jack in a way. I mean, I feel like they're very similar in how they go about it. Impulses must be tempered, but Fani Willis is not impulsive, just the opposite. So yeah, I think we're gonna see Fani Willis and her indictments this week. So, I mean, it's like the hits keep coming, people, right? The hits just keep coming. I'm going to move on to my least favorite person on the planet, which is Ron DeSantis. And that's what I call him now, DeSantis. Because last week, as you probably heard, he made this big public, it was outdoors, all these microphones in his face, that the first thing he's going to do as president is start slitting the throats of federal employees. And I'm telling you, when I heard it, it was like, what? What did he just say? Slitting the throats? Holy hell. So I just want to say, and I'll tell you what comes to mind that's really, it hasn't even been a year since the students in Idaho, wasn't it Idaho, were slaughtered by this one guy. And I think those students got their throats slit. Just can't believe the horror that is Ron DeSantis. So he is pathological. I don't have to have a master's degree to know this. You know, I spent 10 years sitting with PhDs and psychiatrists in a room discussing unwell people. I learned a lot. It was like a master's degree. So he's got psychopathic tendencies. I think a lot of people are recognizing this now because this imagery is unbelievable, and that he doesn't know. That's the thing, that he actually is someone who doesn't know better than to say things like this. On some level, I think he thinks it's like he's going to show how tough he is. He's just a baby. And Trump is a baby. They're different kinds of babies, but they're baby men. And it's almost like he doesn't, like Ron doesn't have a campaign manager, or if he does, he doesn't listen to anybody. I mean, look at what he wears. Look at his clothes. I mean, he just doesn't listen to anybody. And the other thing I want to say is, what happened to Ron DeSantis in his childhood? And what did he do? You know, what kind of torture did he put animals through or other kids? Because he certainly seems like that kind of kid. He's so medically out of touch. Do you know what I mean? Like there's something wrong with his brain. I have something I want to say, but it's not fair, so I'm not going to say it. A slight diagnosis, but I'm not going to say it. He's like very stupid with an education. Now, here's the good evidence about Ron DeSantis. People are actually getting very turned off by him, and his fortunes are waning. It's not positive for him. And then I asked the runes, will Ron DeSantis actually debate? And, you know, he really shouldn't. But I got the first rune I pulled was Berkana, the rune of growth, which surprised me. And it said, but there's more, see. It says, Berkana fosters growth, both symbolically and actually. It can occur in affairs of the world. It is concerned with the blossoming of human beings into their new form. And that can be taken as Ron does new form is that he goes back to being governor of Florida. That's the new form. And a loser, having lost the primary. This cautions to consider all issues with care and awareness. He does not have care. He does not have awareness. Modesty, patience, and fairness are all called for here. He has none. The debate puts him on the world stage. So he's going to grow one way or another. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't do that and not grow or have repercussions. You could grow and it may not be positive too, right? All right, so then we got strength reversed. The next two are reversed for Ron. And it says, and this really depicts him, without ears to hear or eyes to see, you may fail to take advantage of the moment. I can guarantee you that. My left ear can guarantee you that. Could result in a missed opportunity. DeSantis, a missed opportunity. A weakening of his position. There's an alert to failures and disappointments. He takes a hard jolt. But I don't know if you heard this. He has agreed to debate Gavin Newsom from California. Gavin is my governor, California's governor, and he is he's one of the best speakers I've ever heard in how he gets a point across, and it's just this laser delivery. He gets right to it. It's so sharp, and he thinks on his feet, like without notes. I mean, he's really, and he's 6'3". So how much will he tower over DeSantis? And DeSantis agreed to the debate. And it's supposed to be, what's this? Sean Hannity that's gonna do it. Oh my God, all right, stay tuned. And the last rune here for the primary debate with Ron is initiation, the rune of initiation reversed. And it speaks of counsel against expecting too much in the ordinary way. The old ways have come to an end, Ron, simply cannot repeat the old, because he can't, and not suffer. And privately, he's suffering right now. So call in your scattered energies, Rhonda. You may feel overwhelmed after meeting obstruction upon obstruction. And then my left ear came in again and said, Ron fails. I think this is the last rune. Yeah, this last one is the last rune. Will Trump debate? Now he says he's going to, but my left ear went no. So we'll have to see. But I got warrior reversed. The danger is through hasty, ill-timed action, life force is leaked out. Question your motives, sir. Are you trying to dominate? Well, of course, he wants to dominate everything, but he'll probably fail if he does the debate. I don't think he's capable of it. So it says here, if an association is short-lived, do not grieve. And And then we got 2 runes, because I did a clarifier, breakthrough and opening, which really align with each other. They're not opposite. Breakthrough and align. So it says, this is in the middle, and it says it's the cycle of initiation. Signals a major shift in a process of self-change. May be so radical that they no longer, and that would be Trump, is able to live the ordinary life in the ordinary way. Not that he's lived an ordinary life, but it's this flip of change. And this moment may cause you to leap empty-handed into the void, like into nothingness. So if he did the debate, that could hurt him remarkably. It says, if you jump into the void, it could transform the course of your life forever. And the word disruption came up for me. Then the last one on this will Trump debate, even, you know, he's known to say things and then not do them. So saying that he's going to do it really means nothing. I don't think he has enough confidence or real brain swag to do it, but his ego might propel him. But the last one is protection reversed. It's a cryptic message. It says, be aware of your health and do not add to the burdens of others. That's just such an odd message to Donald Trump. And it does say, take responsibility for your own position. And he doesn't do that. He never takes responsibility. And it advises that temperance and courtesy are the sinews of this rune. All right. I'm just going to say, I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to pull out of it. But if he does, he's got these reverses and these reverses, and it's going to shift his popularity somewhat. So that's my comment there. Because he's always saying he's going to do something and he doesn't do it. So it really means nothing that he's going to debate. I think he's bleeping scared. And he's very scared of Chris Christie, who's already made it past all the rules, and he's going to be on that debate stage. And Christie, you know, you might remember, is he was a prosecutor. I mean, he knows how to get it in and lay those points down. I mean, he is very sharp. He's hard to like, but he's very sharp. All right. This is just a really cool thing. You know, Biden has done all these things. I mean, there's a laundry list of good things he's done for the states, for everybody, you know, building and construction and jobs. So some of the MAGA people in their own states are taking credit for what Biden has done, even when they voted against it. And that horrible Tommy Tuberville, who's holding up very important appointments in the services, voted against broadband. But broadband won. It's in his districts, and he's taking credit for it. So White House has had a problem with messaging, and now they're putting up these billboards and claiming this is what Biden is doing, which I think is great. And not enough billboards can go up that give Biden credit. So there is some kind of weird, I think the White House should hire Donnie Deutsch, to be honest with you, the marketing genius, who I think is probably a billionaire, and get some advice. All right, so the brand new judge, Judge Chuptan, she's not playing. This woman has no fear, and she is not playing. She intends to do her best. She hasn't made up her mind, but she's not playing with all these games. She's not into the delays. She knows, she knows, she knows. And she said, defendant after defendant, insurrectionists that were at the Capitol and criminal. And so she knows this case very well from the inside out, okay? And I don't think Donald Trump has seen the likes of Judge Chuptan, and let him try. But isn't it interesting how this family karma is coming back, and these spectacular people who are at the top of their game, you know, Attorney General, you know, blah, 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 they're black. I mean, I have to laugh about this. It's just really the meaning of karma. And now we're coming to the end. And I have a quote by Robert Reich, who is former Secretary of Labor. He's a Rhodes Scholar, he's an author, and I think he's currently even a professor. He's like wicked smart, especially about the economy and stuff like that. So this is what he wrote, and I took it right off Twitter. Here's the truth about tax cuts for the rich. They explode the federal debt, fuel giant profits at the biggest firms and financial institutions, and stoke a surge in billionaire wealth, but do nothing for average working people. He says nothing trickles down. Pretty powerful, right? Pretty powerful. And then in terms of good evidence, I just took it to the simplest common denominator, which is the indictments are legitimate, well-planned, well-researched, well-investigated, and we have waited a long time for this moment, you know, of accountability. Talk more in detail about that. It's entirely possible, and don't, you know, get upset. It's possible that one of the indictments won't fly. I'm just saying it's possible, okay? But there's 3 more, and I believe there's a 5th indictment coming. I think there's more coming, absolutely. I don't think we've gotten to the electors, and we certainly haven't gotten to the guilty people in Congress and the Senate who did are insurrectionists. So there's more coming. So I don't want to get ahead of myself. But the good evidence is that it's happening, and we have been waiting, I don't know, just such a long time. Such a long time, right? All right, so I'll put this in the community section, but I've been thinking about what I want to do for my next Patreon episode, which I'll do tomorrow or Wednesday. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about my hair, because I've been thinking about all the things, even from my history leading up to this, are somewhat entertaining and probably relatable to a lot of people. And because I've gotten so much feedback for this change I'm making, I went, God, people are interested. I mean, I even have heard from men. So I'm going to make it entertaining. Because I started thinking, my God, there's a whole story here about my hair. I mean, it's even in my book, The Comic's Daughter. So now coming to another, place marker or juncture with it. So I thought I can make this pretty entertaining. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if you want to buy Patreon for just 1 month, so you can hear this entertaining story about life with my hair, it'll cost you $8. And then you can quit if you want to. But while you're on Patreon for that month, you can also go back and look at all my previous posts where I talk a lot about celebrities. I have celebrity stories, and I teach the runes, and all of that will be available to you through this most recent one that I'm going to do in a day or 2. So it's, let me see if I can find it for you. It's patreon.com/Carrie Freeman, CarrieFreeman. I was just thinking, you know, you might enjoy it, because I'm just mentioning things here and there. But then I thought, wait, I've got quite a monologue on this, and I think people will relate. All right, so I got lucky. These men are coming to install something. I'm very excited, and I have to move furniture and do some stuff. I got a gift. I got a gift from my sister-in-law, and I'll show it to you after everything gets installed. All right, have a good week. More surprises, more shock and awe, but we're going in a really good direction. And as I sometimes say to my clients, and even it's even a mantra that I give people, and most recently, a wonderful, my left ear client who spent the year struggling with cancer. She's a survivor. And the mantra that I gave her was, this is going in one direction, which meant she was going to heal, she was going to overcome, she was going to get better, and she's going to beat it. And so I find this is going in one direction is it's like a straight up arrow. It's the warrior rune, by the way. And so in moments of doubt, whether this is going to happen, whether they're going to be free, whether we're going to keep a democracy, just keep that determination. This is going in one direction, okay? That's my little advice. All right, have a good week. Make peace, make good memories, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.